Hey team, this is the sixth in a series of videos that I have been making about brain breaks that I use with my students. And this brain break is a brain break in which I walk through students through belly breathing and slowing down their breath to the point where they're taking 5 or 6, in this case 6, in and out breaths per minute. And based on the research that I've read, that's kind of the minimum pace of breathing that can really significantly calm our nervous systems, stimulate our parasympathetic nervous systems, and in particular, if we do it with ease, and if we breathe through our nose, and if we try to breathe with our bellies. And so I will show you all how I normally show my students. Typically I'm standing up, so this might seem be a little bit different, but I'll show you how I teach my students how to use their bellies when they breathe, because as many of you know, as people get older, they tend to start to breathe more and more with their chests, as opposed to using their diaphragm more, which as you breathe in pushes your stomach out, and as you breathe out, your stomach will then come back in. So this is how I show them. I say, all right team, put one hand on your upper chest, and then put one hand down in your belly just below your rib cage, and just see if you can breathe in an easy way, but breathe such that your belly goes out as you're breathing in. So it would look like this: breathing in, breathing out. And notice that my upper hand isn't moving a lot. There is some movement, but not much. So breathing in, breathing out. And again, the key here is really keeping it easeful, relaxed. Breathing in, breathing out. So that's the first thing that I show them. And I then walk through just a teeny bit of research on the benefits of deep diaphragmatic, I normally just say belly breathing because that word almost always escapes me, but I've got it written down on the slide I'll show you in just a second. So I walk them through the benefits of slow, relaxed belly breathing and help them to identify which is most important for them. If you're interested, I'm using a program here called Desmos, but you could just put this in a Google form or something else. So I walk them through this. I put these websites on there. I'll put them in the link as well. And Excelente. Excuse me. So I will have them, I don't actually click through onto these websites, but I'll include them in the video notes. But I walk through and say, just select whichever of these are most important or relevant for you. This belly breathing in a relaxed manner through your nose can help us reduce stress levels, lower the hormone cortisol in your body, lower your heart rate, help lower blood pressure, help cope with symptoms of PTSD and trauma in general, help you to improve your core muscle stability, and you can read through the rest. And it's interesting to note that, I guess, as many of you would imagine, number one is the first one. Reducing stress is oftentimes the most common answer, but then also students will oftentimes, especially athletes, select some of these lower answers. So it kind of gives them a reason to practice. And then what I'll do is go over to another slide, and this is a slide we'll do the belly breathing together, and then afterwards they'll fill this out saying whether they tried it or not. And again, no pressure. If they don't try it, that's always okay. I always tell them this will not be for a grade. This is just an offering, trying to share something that hopefully will have a positive impact on your life. And then, did you like this more or less than the one you had done before? And what did you think of the practice? How did you feel after doing it? And students' responses to these questions have been overwhelmingly positive, especially for this activity. And honestly, for most of the activities. But let me show you a couple of the links that I've got here. We'll go to this first link second and actually do the practice. And the first one is a breathing visualization. So if you are explaining how the diaphragm works and how the diaphragm down here, which is muscles and tendons, how that lowers when you, there you go. So expands when you breathe out and lowers when you breathe in. Expands, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. And of course, this is at a much faster pace than we'll eventually be breathing, but I think that it can be really helpful to show students this, and then they can see how it works. Why, when you breathe in and your diaphragm goes down, your belly might come out and your lungs expand, and it allows you access to the lower lobes of your lungs. Again, I'll link to these as well. So without further ado, let's just jump in and start practicing for a couple of minutes. What I've done with my students is practice just for 2 minutes, a max of 3 starting off. And it's really important that as we're practicing with the students, that we give them permission to stop if they start to feel uncomfortable, that we encourage them to relax their bodies, to relax. I'll do it in a moment once this video loads, but to relax different parts of their bodies, and also to breathe through their nose. I'm going to pause for a moment while this loads. Okay, there we go. And the other thing that I typically, or that I did when I taught this lesson most recently, was that I leaned my camera down and just put my hand on my belly so that students could see what it looks like when I'm breathing. And I tell them that I exaggerate it slightly when I'm showing them this, really just so that they have an idea, and let them know that if they want to put their hand on their belly to remind them to breathe from their diaphragm, they can, or with their bellies, they can. So here goes. Also, I suggest that they listen to it a few times, listen to the sound, get ready, notice the pattern of the breath, and then start practicing whenever they're ready. Relaxing your shoulders, letting your breath be as easy as possible. Letting any tension flow out of your arms. Tension in your face or your shoulders. Breathe through your nose and make this really just a gentle breath. Okay. And so that's it. The first time you can see that it takes a little bit longer. I'd say the first time through, probably took 8 or 10 minutes, but then subsequent times will likely take more, like 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how much you feel like reminding them and talking them through some of either the reasons for doing this or the techniques. So anyways, I hope you all find this to be of benefit and that you all are having a lovely weekend, if it's the weekend when you're watching it, and a lovely week if it's the week. Bye.